Hey everybody, and welcome to The Vibe with Kai. My name is Kai, and welcome to the new series that I have called Kyrus Has Friends, where I sit down and I talk with the people that inspire me the most, and those people are my friends. Today we have a really cool special guest, but before we get to her, just a really quick plug. If you're interested in anything that you're watching today, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at The Vibe with Kai, and you can also follow me on Snapchat at Kyrus Keenan. And I do have a rule: if you send me a picture of you smiling on Snapchat, I will send one back. That is my rule. I believe that smiles are meant to be shared with each other. Next, if you want to follow me on TikTok, follow me at Kyrus Keenan. I go live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. and we just jam and just rock out and have a good old time. Follow me at Kyrus Keenan. I like being on TikTok. It's one of my favorite new platforms. And then last but not least, you can always follow me on my website at thevibewithkai.com. But enough about me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have a special guest for you today. Sitting with me today is my good friend, one of the most talented, most gorgeous, most beautiful people I've ever met in my life, Amanda DeSouza. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm living the dream over here, guys.
We are all living the dream, aren't we? You know, I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but I'm going to tell people the story about what happened the day that we first met, right? And I'm going to talk about it because to this day I love it. But before we get into that, quarantine. How are you holding up in this whole quarantine life right now? As an artist, you're just like as an artist, performer, all of the above. Like, how are you holding up?
You know, I think everybody has good and bad days. I've had this conversation with tons of my friends. You know, we all have good and bad days, but I think I'm one of the lucky ones that I'm very self-motivated. So, and this has been my entire life, like without quarantine, I've always been self-motivated. So, and I have multiple artistic platforms that I can kind of use my creativity to not go insane with. So, so I actually have been holding up fairly well. I've been lucky enough to, shameless plug, I teach, I teach
That's
at
what this whole thing's about. It's all about shameless plug. So you're fine. Go ahead.
I teach at the University of the Arts. I'm one of the jazz teachers for musical theater, and I've been lucky enough to be able to kind of have my students and be able to like teach right now. The semester just ended, but up until then, I was able to kind of online teach and be able to dance and choreograph and kind of keep moving. So that's been something that's been really nice.
Nice. What has it been like? How is it hard to teach? You know, with something that is so physical and so, you know, quite often you need to be there. You know, how hard has it been to teach like a dance class online?
Well, I've learned, I feel like there's a lot of different avenues you can go down. You know, there's like the live classes where you have Instagram, Facebook, where it's live and you're just teaching, which I find is the best for just kind of choreography or laying out something. I don't think it's great for like if you're trying to teach a technique class and you can't see anyone, that's like really tough. So I don't really suggest live classes for anything. I suggest live classes for more like for fun. Then I suggest Zoom classes for if you really want something that's as much hands-on as you possibly can kind of get. Because that way, like if you're teaching a technique class or something and somebody has a question in real time, they can like ask you that and you can personally give them feedback. The hard part about it is that with Zoom, if you got 20 people in a class, you see everybody in like a way, you know, so that's hard. My favorite way I actually have been doing it is whether it be with my college classes or like anything else I choose, I pre-record and post to YouTube.
Okay.
So that way anybody can kind of go back and they can either go back and check choreography. They can go back and go, okay, I want to do this leg workout today and I can do it later in the week. Or I've sent out different techniques on turns or stretching. And what was great that I got from feedback from my students is that they're able to go back and do those stretch routines again or dance routines again. And that's been something I got really good feedback on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's been a really good way that I have been reaching out to people and been able to, I think it's important that like, I believe that learning in a live class has its really good strengths and really good weaknesses.
Mhm.
But I do feel like if you are very good at explaining your routine, your stretching, how your body is supposed to feel and what's supposed to do, that a pre-recorded class is really beneficial.
Mhm.
Um,
Right, right.
so
That's incredible because like I was saying this to a couple people that I've interviewed already that are teachers. You know, like this is not an easy thing to navigate, especially obviously for a parent, for a student, for the teachers, and all of that. How do you find the motivation to just stay as like gun ho? Because like you're saying that you've always been like a determined person, a self motivated person. So like, what is there something like a mantra or something that you turn to and that you're like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna keep going.
you know what's silly? I wouldn't say necessarily like a mantra. For personally myself to move forward, I just remember, my goals and what I want to achieve, and that I know that I was made for bigger things in my life. And
Mhm.
I constantly try to remind myself of that. It's hard to do that with yourself. It's hard to, and I do it. We all, any artist on any platform, we all compare ourselves to each other. And it's so hard to not do that.
Right.
But I try to block that out. But when it comes to like wanting to motivate others, I just remember how I felt. Like I think about my college students, and I think about how much I
Mhm.
wanted to be a performer and an artist, and
Mhm.
I think about younger people and how if they don't have a positive outlook or a positive person to look up to, then what do they have to look up to?
Mhm.
So I constantly try to remember that, like, you gotta you gotta be positive, but you also have to be honest.
Yes. Oh, honesty. Yes. Yes. Mhm.
I had times where I sat with my students and I was honest. I was like, "Y'all, I'm not feeling it today," but that's okay. Like that's okay too. It's okay to
Mhm.
like not be creative for like 4 hours of your day.
Right.
It's
Right.
okay,
Right.
because so many people, especially in like the theater or any type of artistic realm, it's like if you're not practicing, somebody else is, which we know. But
Mhm.
in an instance like this where everyone's working around their mental state,
Mhm.
you have to know like what's okay for you to all right, I'm going to work on this today,
Right.
and then when is it okay, I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to read a book, I'm going to walk
Right.
outside. You have to know your balance.
Right. So like one of the things we were talking about this right before we came on today. So like we were talking about how we would, categorize ourselves because, people like you and I, we do like just a multitude of just things, right? And to find like one or two words to describe what we do is really difficult, but I'm gonna try with you. So you're a dancer, you're a professional makeup artist, you are a teacher, you are a, dare I say, connector of people, right? You are a positive person. Is there somebody that you look up to that also encompasses some of those things? Or like, is there somebody that you're like, oh, I want to be like that, or that person is so inspiring, that kind of keeps you going there?
This is going to be so lame.
No,
No,
let's
it's
go
not
for
going
it.
to be lame.
Let's
It's
go. There's no lameness. This is a judgment-free zone.
No, it's not going to be lame, but I feel like a lot of people may relate to me on this. I think somebody that is of a magnitude that I just look up to so much, that is a famous person. One person that could encompass all of that is definitely Lady Gaga, for sure. Um,
Yes.
I say this because she is so well rounded as an artist. She's an amazing singer, an amazing writer, an amazing dancer. But what I love the most about her is that she's so friggin' real.
Hmm.
And so on, like she's not fake. Like 90% of the people that are kind of around right now, like she is so, she tries to help so many people she can. She's really selfless, and
She's humble. She's well-rounded. Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
she just encompasses like what I feel somebody of her platform, she's doing the thing, she is like, you know what, great, i got I got my followers, I'm famous, they respect me for my art and not for like my body and what I look like, which I think is a very crucial thing that we need to remember in
Hmm.
today's world, where it's so superficial about how people look. But you have to remember, yeah, Lady Gaga is beautiful as hell, but she's also a beautiful human being on the inside.
Hmm.
you know she,
Amen.
she cares about her art form so much,
Hmm.
so much. and she wants to make it. It's not just about the music and the performing and the dancing. It's also about like what it means to her, like
Right. You can
how she has
feel
such a
as
beautiful
she's
song.
singing and as she's talking, you can feel that, you know, because she has a way of putting into words and to music and to dance how we feel, and we may not know how to express the way that we feel. So we turn to people like Lady Gaga to put that into words, into music for us, and that's one of the reasons why I admire her, because she is so humble,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
not something you find, I feel, in celebrities
She's
nowadays.
humble. She's humble and she's real. Like
Mhm.
she had a show in Vegas and and I don't know if there's children watching this, but she'll be like, well, fuck this, because there's,
Yeah.
there's y'all. I told y'all not to bring kids to the show,
Mhm.
but you did, so you're gonna see my butt. Sorry. Um, like she's so real in the fest. Like she'll go on an Ellen show and she'll curse and she'll
Right.
be like,
Mhm.
"Listen, guys, I was like abused as a kid, and this is what it
Mhm.
is." Like she's
Right.
just, she's just so. I think it's really it's hard to remember that performers and famous people and artists are humans and they're not
Mhm.
robots.
Right.
And I think she puts it so eloquently in the sense that like people want her for things. They want her to create a show. They want her to be an artist. They don't see her for herself. And I think it's really important to also remember that like us as artists in any capacity, whether you are a visual artist or a performer, you're a person, you're not a machine.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I sometimes feel like people forget that performers are human. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love that. And so like actually that actually leads into one of the other things that I wanted to talk about here. So you dance in Atlantic City, right? Which is like no easy task, right? But like you do it, you post about it, you enjoy it. What is it like to be a dancer like at these casinos and at these shows and all that? Like what is it like living that life? Is it crazy fun? Is it just like insane? Or what is it?
oh, it's so many things. It's so many things. There's two sides to this coin, guys. There's two sides.
Hmm.
Um, it's amazing. I have a beautiful relationship with a lot of my friends from it. I've met some amazing girls, amazing performers, like,
Hmm.
and working in Atlantic City, you see a lot of eclectic people. So I've met so many people that are like fun and weird, and I'm like, that's great.
Hmm.
Um, another thing is I work at one of my favorite places is it's called Mountain Bar in Bally's
Hmm.
Casino, which I'm hoping that it will be able to open at some point again. But my because I have such a heavy background in theater, the dancers we always perform with live bands and a DJ.
Right. I love when you post those videos of like you guys singing and dancing and stuff with the bands. Like that's fantastic. That is so
It's
cool.
I mean, I honestly have not met one band I don't like. They've all became my friends. We all follow each other online, and they're always so supportive of my makeup stuff.
Right.
They're so wonderful. So I love being able to like rock out to them. They always invite me up to sing. And the DJ, his name's DJ Aiden Scott. Another plug for him. Love him.
Bow, 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 bow.
Exactly. He's wonderful. He's been a DJ for years, and he's the resident DJ there, and he always hooks it up. Um, that's my favorite place. But the thing about it is it's an amazing thing being able to be a professional dancer, whether you're just like go-going or you're in a show, or I do gigs, I do everything.
Mhm.
The hardest part about working in nightlife or anything like that is that there's a big stigma. And actually one of my friends um, just became TikTok famous because of her video. And she posted
Mhm.
a video of how she's a brilliant girl. She's like a
Mhm.
scientist during the day, and then she goes at night.
Mhm.
And there's a stigma that dancers, not just like go-go's or whatever, dancers in general are stupid.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I want to say that that is wrong. That's so wrong. Dancers are, I've met some dancers that are such smart, brilliant people.
Mhm.
You know, tons of those people.
Mhm.
Dancers, the thing about a dancer is that there's so much discipline that goes into understanding your body because
Yes.
it is its
And
own,
being comfortable with yourself and your body.
yeah, it's its own art form, it's its own sport, it's a whole thing. And another thing about it is, especially if a lot of dancers are also choreographers, I choreograph stuff, and being a choreographer, you have to put pieces into place that other people can't imagine. You have to imagine it in your brain. There's so many pieces that people don't think about. People go see a show and they just see the dancers and they don't imagine, oh, I wonder who created that and how much rehearsal time went into that. There's a lot of things that come together that people don't realize.
What
So
what do you
that's
think
the
what do you
thing.
think life will be like after, like what, like for a go-go dancer in AC? What do you what how do you guys even like come back to that, like after this whole like thing? How difficult do you think that'll be?
It's going to be hard. Entertainment and nightlife, when it comes to clubs and bars and things, are not really going to be up to full capacity, even if they do open. And even if they do open, the first thing they do is they get rid of entertainment. They'll get rid of some bands. They'll get rid of dancers. Because it'll be a way of like cutting back on costs.
Hmm.
And I just spoke with one of my friends that does the same stuff, and you know, it's going to be a struggle going back to that.
Hmm.
You know, it's going to be like a year until everyone's back to like
Right.
normalcy.
But you feel, I get a sense though that you feel hopeful though
Yeah, like, yeah.
that we'll find some sort of normalcy, I guess, with all of this.
I mean, yeah, I mean, normalcy will come back. This is how America is. It'll all happen. It'll suck for a while, and then everybody forget and go back to normal and get crunk on the weekends. It is going to be, and everybody's going to want to be
Right.
with people again. You know, it's going to be fine.
Hmm.
You know, we all just have to kind of get through this time. And I think that, yeah, it's going to be fine. It's just going to be hard. And we all have to kind of figure out ways that we can still be creative. And that's why, you know, we teach the dance classes and we perform for little like online shows and we do what we can. I mean, you do what you can. Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned theater, and I want to get into this a little bit because I want to tell people about the day that we met, right? So, so you were my makeup art when I directed The Wiz last year at the Ritz Theater.
It was lovely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a great production team. It was so much fun.
Thank you, Yusef Cornish.
Yes, he's my costume designer and just overall, designer, for costumes, makeup, for all of that. And so I met you the day of the photo shoot, I believe. Was it the photo shoot? I think it was the photo shoot. And so you came in, and for those of you that don't know, she is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant makeup artist, which we'll get into in a second. But so she comes in, she's doing the makeup for everybody. We do the photo shoot, blah, 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 blah. So the day of the photo shoot was also a day of rehearsal. So once the photo shoot was done, everybody went downstairs from the studio onto the stage to rehearse. Now I come back upstairs. I come back upstairs because I think I left my stuff. I left my bag. I left all my stuff in the studio upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk back upstairs and the lights are out. So I'm not thinking that anybody is up there or anything like that. And then I walk into the room and I just see a body on the floor. And I was like, I think that's Amanda. I think that's Amanda. And so I was like, and I think you were just in a ball and you just had your hood up, I guess. Or
Actually, a
something.
historical moment for me. Yeah.
It was like I was like, Amanda, are you okay? And I think you had like a really bad migraine.
It was the first migraine I have ever gotten in my life.
It was like
Ever.
You were just like, I felt so bad. And
I didn't know what to do with myself.
And so like I walk in and I was like, are you okay? You're like, oh, my head hurts, blah, blah, blah. And you're just laying the ball on the floor and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab my bag. And then I start to walk out and I'm like, is there anything I can like do for you? You're like, no, don't worry about it, I'm fine. Being stubborn. And and then so I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna help this poor woman out because I felt so bad. So I think I went and got you some tea. Because I think because hot tea, will sometimes help with, at least it helps me with my headaches and migraines. And so I got you some tea, and I don't know if somebody got you medicine or not, but I felt so bad, and that's like one of my first experiences that we.
Well, I felt bad because this is never. I remember. This is so funny that you remember this. I remember I was doing the makeup for Dorothy, and all of a sudden, when I get migraines, that was like the first onset one I ever had, and now that I've gotten a couple since then, I kind of know what my things are. But I was doing her makeup, and all of a sudden, like, if anybody knows anything about migraines, my hand felt like it was somewhere else. Like my depth perception gets messed up. So I was like working on her, and I was like, why does her eye feel so far away? Like it was weird, and I was like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And then you were doing the photo shoot, we took the pictures, and all of a sudden it was like in my head, and I was like, what is this? Like, I've never had I've had a headache, like a normal headache. And so I was like, all right, everybody go downstairs. I'll just hang out. And I remember I was like, these people are going to think I'm the worst. But I was okay after a while, because remember I came downstairs and I was like, I think I'm okay.
Yes. No, it was all fun, but let me tell you, I was super duper worried about you, but it ended up being like fine, and you ended up doing the makeup for The Wiz, which was awesome. And for those of you that, if you're not familiar with the show, who are you? But The Wiz is obviously a story of the Wizard of Oz, and obviously you have the lion, the scarecrow, the witch, Dorothy. Who am I missing? I'm missing one of them.
Oh, the Tin Man?
Tin Man, yeah. Well, and the makeup for this show was not easy, but like you went on and you did this, and you are just like this brilliant makeup artist, and I ended up like creeping and being like, okay, let's learn more about Amanda DeSouza. And like I see like the stuff that you post on your Instagram and things like that of you just doing like makeup for others, doing your own makeup, and you are exquisite. How did you get into makeup and just being so good at it? Like how does that happen?
I'm going to give you the quicker version of the story because it is a long one. I always loved makeup, and I think I loved it, and I knew that, but I always did theater. And then within theater, I was like that person that always perfected my makeup. Like I would sit there 2 hours before the show and get it ready while all my friends took like 10 minutes. And I was like, guys, I'm not ready yet. Like, so then I had a friend that like face painted and stuff. Fast forward freshman year of college, I was a musical theater major at the University of the Arts, and I needed an artistic outlet that wasn't just theater. Like I needed something that wasn't just singing, dancing, and acting and crying in an acting studio. I needed something that was like a little bit more relaxing. So I remember I would sit in my dorm room at like 2 a.m. and like paint my face. And so then I would start posting the pictures on social media. This was like when I first got an Instagram, like years ago, and Instagram like just started. And I would post my pictures, and my friends were like, wow, you got a knack for this. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, and my one friend let me borrow his stuff, and I like used some of it and practiced on myself. And then I got friends asking me to do their makeup for Halloween and parties and weddings and blah, and it like kind of spiraled. And I just never really thought that was kind of where it was going to go, you know? Then I started working with entertainment companies. I started working with entertainment companies since I was like 18 years old. And they instead of being a performer, they're like, hey, do you want to work with being as makeup artist? Because let's be honest, sometimes as a makeup artist, you make a little more money.
Sure, of course. So, understandably so, because that's a skill that not many people have. Sure.
But it's also like, you know, sometimes you got to design looks, and it's just a different process. So I was like, yeah. So then I started doing makeup for like short films and industrials in New York and theater and shows, and like it kind of just spiraled, and I do a lot of like different kind of stuff. Now, am I like Hollywood level yet? No. Is that the goal?
You're pretty damn good though, Amanda. Come on now. You're pretty damn good.
Thank you. I mean, there's so many. I've another thing to keep me sane. I've been taking a lot of makeup classes online while I've been home. So I've been doing like face painting, and I got like little hey, this will be fun. I got these face painting sheets to practice kids face painting.
Oh, nice.
And then I've been teaching myself techniques of things.
So cool.
So this is like a peacock face.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
And then last but not least, last night I learned how to make balloon animals. I suck at it, right? But I'm learning how to do that so I can add that to my arsenal. Wait, you want to?
You have quite the arsenal, because like so like I've been like you said you've been following me on my like journey and stuff like that. I've been following you with because especially because you started teaching yourself how to juggle. And you've gotten pretty damn good at it. You're getting there. Like you're pretty damn good.
We got the crappy balloon animal. We got this.
Look at that. Now you're just showing off. Hey, listen, my 33rd birthday is coming up, and I'm gonna hire you to do some social distance. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I just constantly try to teach myself new things,
Mhm.
and I'm lucky that I have so many people that like want to help me. And
Mhm.
what is amazing about people like you and other artists is that we want to help each other. So,
Yes.
I am more than happy to tell my friends about certain makeup techniques or dance stuff.
Mhm.
I've sent videos to my friends throughout this, all that kind of stuff.
Right,
And
right.
it's nice to be able to have other friends. Last night I sat on Zoom for an hour, and my friend taught me how
Mhm.
to make basic balloon animals. It's like
Mhm.
it's that kind of stuff where I think another thing to keep yourself motivated is like learn a new skill. And it doesn't
Oh
have to
yeah.
be anything hard. Like if
Mhm.
you just want to start doodling, or if you
Mhm.
maybe I'm going to learn how to bake a cake, you know,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
just something to keep you
Oh
going.
yeah. No, this is really it's I encourage so much so for people to use this time wisely, right? Because there's no telling what life will be like once it does go back, right? Like the time that we have right now, we don't want to take it for granted. Use this time to learn, like you said, learn new skills or try new things. Like I like this whole TikTok thing, which I want to talk about. Like that's a quarantine thing for me, and
Same.
it's been an insane journey. And now like we're talking about like the makeup and the dancing and all that. People have been fans of yours on the TikTok because you have joined the TikTok and you have built a following on the TikTok.
Not as good
um
as you, but
you 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 are you are slowly but surely, my friend, becoming the TikTok famous. So what is it like being the TikTok famous?
um I can't keep up with people. I can't. I like getting back to everyone, and I like commenting back. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do about like 10 minutes and like go through
Yeah,
my messages, because I feel bad when I like don't answer people.
so do
'Cause
I.
it's one of those things where I'm like shit, like 35 people
Mhm.
just commented, and now I gotta.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny. I have a system now. This is an exclusive. So if you comment on one of my TikToks and all you put is an emoji, that's all you're getting back. If you just put an emoji, I'll like it. I'll like the comment and I'll comment. I'm putting an emoji. If you take the time to like say something like, "Hey, blah blah blah," blah, then I'll respond. But sometimes it's too hard to comment on all of the comments and the messages and stuff. It's hard. It's really tough. It's tough.
so hard
So
to keep
what
up.
why so what has the TikTok journey been for you? How did you discover it, and what has it been like since you started
Okay,
posting?
I only got one. My boyfriend yelled at me, and he was like, "You should get one because you're pulling
Because
people."
he has one, and I follow him, and he's hilarious. He
He's
posts some things sometimes. I'm like, oh my
a
god.
weirdo. He's a weirdo, but he made me get one. I was like, I didn't want to get one. I really didn't. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
always the last one on the gravy train of the social media. I like, and it's funny because I shouldn't be. Um, I just like, I'm weird. I don't like putting my life out there too much. Like, I
Hmm.
don't like people knowing certain things.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. But anyway,
No, that's
um,
completely understandable and
yeah,
rational.
yeah, yeah. But I realize that like social media is one of those things that I guess you choose to what you put
Hmm.
on there. But anyway, um, I have just been posting things that I've been like, it's kind of like a test for me. I post and just kind of see what happens with certain videos. Some I'm like, this
Hmm.
is dumb. We'll see if this does well. Or okay, I'll post my makeup today. This will be like, I mean, you know, I'm not anywhere to like 3 million views on every video. I do well for a small little like, whatever that
Sure.
started, but
Hmm.
um it's interesting how strong of a tool social media is. It's like, I've gained the amount of followers, almost the amount of followers I have on Instagram in like a week or whatever that I have on like 5 years on Instagram.
Hmm.
Because I mean,
Absolutely.
the way they do it is different. Instagram, you have to look for people, and
Right.
TikTok, it's kind of like it just happens as you
Right.
scroll.
It's just like
But
it'll just put people in front of you, be like, I think you'll like this.
yeah, and you know what? I'm just, I try to be like a funny artistic influence for people. I try to
Hmm.
be positive. I just try to do.
Hmm.
I don't like being negative. Um,
Yes.
sorry, I
Are
don't
you?
like being negative.
Yeah.
And I like, I don't know.
No, I
Like,
get it. I get it because there's so much negativity. There's so much bullying. There's so much, like, especially on social media, because you have these keyboard warriors that hide behind the keyboard sometimes, and they just say these ugly, nasty things to
Girl,
people.
I don't even care. Like, I posted a TikTok video of me ranting about how hard life is right now,
Mhm,
and that did really good.
mhm,
And because I said, like, oh, I went to school for musical theater and I got a lot of student loans and da da da. And the
mhm,
thing is, outside of the pandemic, I do hella good.
mhm.
So outside of the pandemic, homegirl is working.
You
Okay?
you are hustling, you are doing your thing, you are
Yeah.
surviving, and you're loving life. Absolutely.
So then there's like a couple people that are like, why'd you go to school for music theater? And I'm like, let's think. When I was 17 years old and loved theater and wanted to do theater, that's what I wanted to go to school
It's
for.
like it's
Oh,
crazy that you. It's like it's crazy that you followed your heart.
it's
Wow.
crazy that my parents didn't go, you should be a doctor because being a doctor would probably make me miserable. Well, and I am not smart enough to do that. So the thing is, I hate when people say that. It's like, there's two things to this coin. One, nobody told me about student loans when I was 17 years old. So
Same, right there with you.
when we were younger, everyone was like, let's act like it's fine. And now we're hit with student loans. So we didn't know about that then. So I
Uh-huh.
hate when like 17-year-olds are like, well, I'm like, nah, listen. Nobody told me about this when I was 17, okay? Y'all live in
Uh-huh.
a different world. Okay. Another thing is like, also, why in the hell would I went to school for something I didn't want? Like, why would I went
Right.
like me? I either was gonna be a college student, and guess what? My family wanted me to go to college, so I had to go for some
Mhm,
way, okay,
mhm,
to get some degree,
mhm.
or I was gonna go to some or I would have like went to makeup school. I would have went
Right.
to a have a skill. So
Mhm,
either way, I would have went for some art form. Now
mhm,
you're coming at me. I'm like, guess what? Guess what? I bet you my life's way more interesting than your life.
mhm,
You
mhm.
know?
Yeah,
And
I pay no mind to the
no,
people that hate because like at the end of the day,
no.
whether we're quote unquote successful or not, I mean we're doing what we love. Like I don't like you said like I don't need 3 million views to validate my happiness. I don't need that stuff to validate how I feel. To know that I'm doing what I love, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for you.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't need to be a millionaire, and I do not need a million views to validate that I am enough.
I mean, it'd be nice to be a millionaire. Not to like, if anybody wants to give
Yeah, it'd be
Amanda and
great.
I $1 million, sure, I'll
Why
split it
not?
with you. If somebody watching this right now is like, Kai, I'll give you $1 million, Amanda, I will split it with you in a heartbeat.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Yeah.
um,
But like, yeah,
well,
I think a lot of performers and artists, we do it
mhm,
we do it because we love it. I mean,
right, right.
we know
So,
this field is iffy. We know.
oh my God, 100%. And
But
that's actually one of the reasons. Another reason why I wanted to talk to you today. I mean, we had this plan for a little bit, but you posted something last night that I loved, and you're and you're like, I knew you were gonna love this because I do
I
100%.
did. I was like, he's
So,
going.
can you tell people that are watching right now what this project is that you put out there and what you're hoping to accomplish with
Yeah. So I had this idea literally kind of sparked in me like yesterday. One, I just want to help in any way I can, and I know that I can't do a lot, but I can try. Um, so I had this idea of facilitating slash producing classes in the arts, whether that be performing arts, visual arts, any type of art. It could be a yoga class, it can be a script writing, it can be script analysis, it could be, whatever. Um, and being able to facilitate classes that are either on like a weekly basis or like here's the classes for the month. And I'm trying to get as many people as I can to be able to like, here's the schedule and here are all the classes and here is everything that is available to people on the internet. So whether the classes are via Zoom or whatever, I'd love to have artists from all over to be able to have a platform. And sometimes I know that people don't really do stuff unless somebody kind of kicks them in the butt
it.
or like fire up their butt, and like I'm that kind of human.
Right.
So I thought, well, if you have somebody that'll just put it out there for people, put it on the schedule. And the idea is kind of like make a big Facebook group or something.
Mhm.
And then if everybody that's a teacher and everybody that's willing to learn is willing to share this schedule and willing to share it on their Facebook, share it on their Instagram, something like this, you can get all the different people from all over
Mhm.
to be able to take class or teach class or something like that, where it's like a big little
Right.
community.
Right, right.
My idea is, I know a lot of stuff is free right now, but I was thinking a minimum of like $5 you could pay
Mm-hmm.
to take the class, because as artists, right at this point, we all work really hard for our craft, and
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like $5 is literally this much amount of money that a lot of artists are worth.
Right.
And a lot of people are teaching at a rate of nothing right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted a way to support my artist friends, and my friends that are, I've always wanted to put art out there for people that don't have maybe the means to,
Mm-hmm.
or they're shy. Like, a lot of people don't take dance because they're 27 and they've never
Mm-hmm.
taken a dance class, and they're
Right.
not really comfortable in their bodies. Well, maybe it's good for them to try it from home,
Mm-hmm.
so I really would love, I don't care what type of art it is, because I literally love every form of art there is
Mm-hmm.
imaginable, um that could kind of work via online learning. I
Right,
know that,
right.
like, if you're trying to teach ceramics, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a wheel, you
Yeah.
can't do it. But anything that is possible, drawing
Right.
classes, voice lessons, reading
Mm-hmm.
music, all that kind of stuff that somebody might be interested in, and I could help people. um,
Right, right. I think that's fantastic. That you're finding ways to obviously uplift yourself, but you're bringing other people with you, and you're continuing to support the people around you. And that's actually one of the so with everybody that I interview, I write down the things that I admire about that person. And the word that I wrote down about you is just supportive, right? Because you find a way to just bring everybody along the ride with you. Like at no point do I ever feel like, oh, Amanda's just doing this for her. Like you always want to find like obviously we all do things for us, but like you always want to find a way to include as many people as possible, even if it's just making a video that'll make people smile, or make people say, oh wow, that's cool, or
well,
something like
if,
that. Like
I feel like with
yeah.
being an artist, exactly, you gotta, right now I'm just trying to find ways, whether that be like 10 people or like 5 or whatever. If I can make somebody like smile, especially like right now, or make them
Mhm.
laugh with like a video, it's nice. Or like, I love putting my art out there because it gives somebody, it's entertainment, and
Right.
artists right now are so important.
It's
um
probably more important than ever. And I think that, and I mean, the sad part is that you're right. You alluded to this before. Probably the first things, since a lot of places will be financially, in a ruts after this, or they might be currently, one of the first things that's going to be cut are the art programs at schools, at entertainment centers, at all these places. Like people, that's going to be cut. And I don't think people realize how much we depend on art for our daily lives, whether it's a TV show, whether it's like even like I'm just talking like scripted shows. What about the people that do the makeup for the news anchors? Like things like that. Like that kind of stuff will get cut. And like these are real human beings that are doing this, to make sure that the best product is always put out there. And
yeah.
it's scary to think of what will happen
It
after
is
this.
scary, but
Mhm.
things, I know it's very hard, and for me it's been hard because I've was doing very well up until this point, and I was
Mhm.
really at a point where I felt so like secure as an artist, but
Mhm.
secure. It
Mhm.
was like I was moving forward in my goals, and then when this happened, I went,
Yeah. Yeah.
really? So, it's just gonna be a pushback for
Mhm.
everybody, and
Right.
we just gotta remember that this is a forced break-ish for people. I
Mhm.
mean, thank you for everybody that is working in the hospital and food and all those
Yes.
industries. Thank you, everyone. Um,
Yes. Mhm.
really. Oh,
Mhm.
I could never,
Honestly.
I could never do what these people are doing. So thank
Mhm.
God for them.
Mhm.
But I just think that artists need to do our part in making people happy while they're sad at home. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It adds a sense of just kind of levity that is needed sometimes for when we are feeling down and all of that. And it's because of people like you that people feel better throughout their day. So thank you for that. So the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about here
yeah,
is,
I have to go in like a couple minutes. I have to do
yeah, that's
something.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
So you're part of Matilda
Yeah.
at Broadway Theater of Pittman. So is that still happening? Like where do things sit with that right now?
Okay, so As of now, we are starting Zoom rehearsals. I have choreographed one number so far. We are very hopeful that it can happen in the summer. If it cannot happen, it is not canceled. It is just moved. I'm not going to disclose all that information of when it will be moved yet, because I don't know if I'm at liberty to, but the show will happen. We have a beautifully wonderful cast, and the team is great. And
yeah, I know some of the people in it, and like I can't wait to see. I hope it does get like happen, because like
it's going to be fun. Cast. Whenever it happens, it happens. And we're all hopeful, and we're starting to work on the music director. Has sent people out already. Music. I've personally interviewed I've never seen any of these people dance in person. I have personally interviewed everybody in the cast, almost everybody. I haven't reached out to everyone yet. I've Zoom meetinged almost everyone in the cast and had talks like this about their dance background, their theater background, so I can get to know them a little bit, especially because there's kids in the show, and get to know their dance background, so that before I start setting choreography, I know what to expect of how tall they are, if they know how to do any tricks, if they have any special skills, if they can turn or bot to the gods, because so I mean, we're doing our best, and we'll all
keep pushing. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Amanda, thank you so much. Like, thank you for taking time out of your day to just sit and talk with me. I adore you. I support you. I love you. You are an amazing artist and person, and I'm so happy to be your friend. And I can't wait. Like, once this whole quarantine is over, I can't wait to get together. We gotta do
some theater hangs.
Yes, 100%. That needs to happen. It's gonna happen.
Work together.
Yes, it's gonna happen. So, Amanda, thank you so much. For everybody else watching, once again, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. You can follow me on Snapchat at Kyrus Keenan. If you send me a smile, I will send you one back. And follow me on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. And for all things me and my friends, you can follow my website at thevibewithkai.com. Amanda, thank you again so much. I love you. Everybody else, have a wonderful day. Good vibes.